After years of interrupted learning due to the pandemic, Washington State youth are struggling inside and outside of the classroom. And one set of life skills that's especially important during this post-pandemic school year, it involves social and emotional learning, or SEL for short. So here to share more about why kids need this skill is Dr. Kaylin Curry, psychologist from Seattle-based nonprofit Committee for Children. Thanks for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Before the cameras even started rolling, you and I have been chatting about this because we keep hearing the kids are okay. Kids are okay, but they deserve more than okay, right?
That's what we believe at Committee for Children. I mean, you hear the rhetoric about they're struggling, but they'll make it through. But children deserve to thrive and succeed right now. And with all this interrupted learning, social isolation, they need more than ever to have that support and to be able to have the support of parents and teachers that help them gain these key life skills so they can be successful.
So give us an idea of what social emotional learning is. What does it all encompass?
So social emotional skills are just life skills. So social emotional learning, or as you said, SEL, is just the process by which young people gain these vital skills. Things like managing stress, communication and collaboration, confidence, problem solving. And these social emotional skills they're just vital to helping kids not only be successful learners in the classroom now, but also happier, healthier, thriving adults later on in life.
Well, we've seen this, the lack of these skills and how it's impacted our students and kids. I mean, my child was in preschool when the pandemic hit, and these SEL skills are hard. I mean, he's had a hard time learning how to regulate his emotions and all these things.
Absolutely. I'm hearing it from the teachers that we work with. I'm hearing it, with my niece that was in kindergarten when all this began. And so she really missed out on having that support to really scaffold and build these important skills for her.
Can we break down the skills, kind of get a little more detail?
Absolutely. So when we're thinking about these skills, we're thinking about how kids can communicate with other people, right? How they can build strong connections. We're talking about, making really good choices, problem solving. And you can think about why that would be important, If a kid is in a classroom, whether they're doing a math assignment or a science assignment, they need to be able to focus their attention and motivate themselves. Persevere through challenges, right? Set and achieve goals, build relationships. Those are all so integral for their success in and outside the classroom. And so when we equip kids with these social emotional skills, we're really helping them be successful, academically, professionally, and interpersonally for the rest of their lives. So it's really a critical time to focus on that.
So parents out there, they're hearing, okay, social emotional skills, like, what do I know about this? How do we as parents get down into it and help?
Parents, you already know this and you've been doing it from the get-go. But there are kind of some easy ways where you can kind of slip in your day-to-day interactions with your kids, and the way that you kind of model and behave in front of them, just easy ways that you can really emphasize it. So an example that I like to think of is, say you're reading a book or watching a TV show with your kiddo. And if you want to support their emotional intelligence, you can ask questions like, what emotion do you think that character is feeling? How did you know? How can you tell? Or if you want to support their problem solving, you can say things like, well, what would happen if that character did that? And how would you solve that problem? So adding just these, simple thought-provoking questions when you're watching a TV show can really help your kid, recognize and practice these skills.
I love that, except my kid's probably going to yell at me when I put it on pause and ask the questions, but that's okay. That's about emotional regulation, am I right?
There you go. Well, that's another thing that you brought up, modeling in your own behavior. Kids are always looking to you, right? And so you could model some of these behaviors that you want for them. So if you want your little guy to be a little better at managing his emotions when he's upset, model those calm down strategies yourself and be able to say, oh gosh, I'm feeling a little stressed right now. I think I need to, calm down and take some breaths before I continue. Will you take some big breaths with me?
That's a great idea.
So not only are you demonstrating exactly the behavior that you're wanting your kid to demonstrate, but you're giving yourself a little dose of social emotional skill practice, so that helps you cope better.
All right, I'm gonna try to hone that later. What role do teachers play in schools in this?
I am all about like a united, front here. Parents and teachers can be helping kids with their social emotional development at home and in the classroom. So just like any other skill that you want your kiddo to learn, If they can practice it more, they'll pick it up faster. And so if they're practicing these skills, in the classroom as well, with, in different environments with different adults, they're just amassing and mastering these skills faster.
I love
so
it.
I'm all about that. Let's work together on this. It's not either or, it's more is better.
I love it. Kaylin, thank you so much. I'm going to work on that modeling bit, but we really appreciate all this information you've shared.
Sure.
Thank you so much. All right, well.